It is day 2 of Mitsubishi Delica ownership. How's that going? I think the phrase is suboptimal. This rear tyre, we could hear it having a bit of a hiss yesterday, and it seems to have gone entirely flat. It is due to get replaced this very afternoon. I'm just going to hope it's going to inflate and we don't have to get into changing it, because that would be annoying when I'm changing the tyres anyway. So we'll get the pump connected. I don't suspect we'll get much of a hiss there, no. And unfortunately my electric ones are at the unit, which is bad planning on my part. I think this is going to be a lot of pumping, an awful lot of pumping. Ooh. It's taking a bit of a rest. Got it up to 10 psi. Quite hard work, but I can remind you of this fantastic slogan. I'm getting such gratification. Honest. It's a bit easier with 2 CV wheels. There we go, that's about 20 psi. It's still very squashy. Thankfully we haven't got to go far to the tyre place. That was hard work. So I've been and got some new tyres fitted. They are Cooper Discoverer AT3s, mud and snow pattern, so a decent all-terrain. Got some sipes going on, nice chunky tread, don't seem too noisy. Should be good. Unfortunately, because I'm an idiot and I'm just not with it at the moment, I'm having a terrible week. I only ordered a pair, so we've only fitted the rears. We're going to go back tomorrow, fit the fronts and do an alignment on it, because Jasper said he's replaced some bits and he hasn't actually got around to getting the tracking done, so that'll get done tomorrow, but these should be good. Well, good morning and welcome to this beautiful view of a bit of plastic and a steering wheel with me lurking in the darkness. I'm aboard my Mitsubishi Delica, which I bought recently. Go and check out videos on that if you haven't already. A surprising number of people have. It seems a surprisingly popular choice, the Mitsubishi Delica L400. I'm just on my way to give it a service, hoping to go and visit the City Rover along the way. So we'll hopefully have this thing running a bit better. It does feel a bit sluggish. I think fresh filters might do it the world of good, fresh engine oil. So we're not going to town on the service. Just had new tyres fitted. Come on, big Paulie. So yeah, that was tyres. Now got 4 Cooper Discoverers fitted. We'll see how they do. But it feels a lot better to drive for the tracking change and the better rubber, softer, more compliant rubber, less cracked. So hopefully the handling will be a bit better too. Not that you buy a Mitsubishi Delica if you want to fine handling. So yeah, we'll give it a service. While we're doing the tyres, I always like to have a good look around the brakes, and when they did the alignment, I was able to have a quick look underneath while maintaining social distancing. The front brakes don't look very pretty. The discs look like they've had a hard life. The pads don't have vast amounts of meat on them, so I think that'll be getting done at some point, preferably before I start doing towing. Brakes are definitely going to want some looking at. It's going to need a tickle with a welder in places, which surprises me not at all. This truck has lived in Wales for quite a long time after all, yeah, I look forward to sorting this out. And getting a tow bar fitted is something I definitely want to do. We are cruising at 60 miles an hour at the moment, by the way, at just over 2,000 RPM. Feels quite relaxed. I can hear a mild hum from the tyres, but it really is quite mild. The Cooper Discoverer AT3s are an all-terrain tyre. They are officially a mud and snow tyre as well, so winter rated, which I suspect means they wear quite heavily. But as I'm not planning on doing that much driving, hopefully that won't be an issue. But next stop, hopefully City Rover. And here is Han Solo the City Rover. We've arrived, we've come down the garage, just dropped off a rear mount. 2 front mounts are meant to be delivered. I have a horrible feeling they're being delivered by DHL, so I may never see them, but we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, she's sat here. I last drove her several weeks ago, just as the lockdown was beginning, really. Hopefully she's moving. I've left her in gear. Oh yeah, there we go. Bit of rock left in her. So one of the strut tops at the back, both of the front strut tops, and welding. Was it under the saw? I think it was. Yeah, that'll be the problem. Right there, quite crusty, despite someone's best attempts to plate it with something that looks like it was built for a ship. But that just needs extending down. I don't care if it's pretty, I just want it solid, and I know the lads here Madeira do a decent job of that. So without further ado, we will carry on. Next step is to go and see an old friend. Yes, we've just come for a socially distanced visit to Mrs. Merchandise. Rachel is still sending out old merchandise. I ordered a Betty mug some time ago. So there we go, I have my Betty mug. Sadly we're sold out on those. We only got a limited number and they sold out very quickly. George sadly didn't want to come out and play because, as you can see, it's raining. But I need to continue to the unit. I've still got a service to do on this. Oh, and you may have noticed the new wiper blade. Unfortunately it doesn't fit. Different fitting, so I'm stuck with the old ones, which is a little bit problematic because they're absolutely rubbish. Doesn't help I haven't got very much screen wash, but I'm going to try and clean the windscreen and fit different wiper blades when I get to the unit. I should have more clips, so hopefully I can make this fit somehow. And here we are at the unit. The Tercel is suddenly looking quite small. I'm quite desperate for a cup of tea, but I'm going to put that off because I can set the oil draining while I wait. Fortunately I've got a catch can that's going to be able to deal with hot engine oil. I will say that brake is cold, that brake feels warm, that brake feels very warm, and that one is hotter still. So I may have to do a bit of caliper freeing by the look of it. They're a bit notorious for that, but otherwise we shall commence operations. Just get the bonnet propped. It's over here. Thankfully the people next door don't seem to be here today, so there shouldn't be too much noise. And we'll get the oil draining. I'm going to have to remove the battery apparently to get the fuel filter out, so that's convenient. So we'll do oil and filter, fuel filter, air filter, and see where we're at. There we go. That looks disgusting. 7 litres of engine oil apparently. Oh, we're going to push the thing back. That's good, it's slowing down because this drain pan has only 6 litres of capacity. I'll push it back a bit more now. Beautiful. We'll leave that draining, have a cup of tea. Why do oil drains? I'll move on to other things. Might start with the air cleaner because that looks the easiest one. To get the fuel filter out, I've first got to take the intercooler off, which I note appears to have an electric fan on the back of it for extra cooling. Then the battery's got to come out, and we can have a look. And I need to top up the power steering fluid if I've got any as well, because it's getting a bit noisy. The level looks a bit low. Yeah, it's just all good fun trying to find my way around, trying to understand Japanese. Yeah, I really don't understand Japanese. We'll see what occurs. Now, in all fairness to Jasper, he did sell me this saying it would need a service. It did stand for at least a year, I think. But yeah, I think the air filter is definitely on the necessary list. So thankfully we've got a new one of those to go in. See what state the airbox is in. Oh, not too bad. Actually, not too much leaf debris. But that'll certainly help it breathe more easily if we change that. I suppose better unpack the filters and make sure they're the right ones. Yep, they look pretty similar, although this has got nasty plastic, whereas that's metal. So having said that, the plastic one is quite a lot lighter, so that's got to help with MPG, hasn't it? Fitting this might be a job for both hands. I'll rest that there. Sneak that in. There we go. Voila, that was a nice easy job. 4 little rusty clips. Well, that wasn't too difficult. Disconnect the hose clamps, swing that out of the way. Now onto the small matter of the battery. Have we got 10 mils on those? Oh, that doesn't even seem particularly tight. Okay. That one isn't particularly tight either. Okay, that's some interesting discovery there. But I'll get the battery out, and then I guess you unbolt the fuel filter so you can get access to it. Things are going to get smelly. The filter's off. I've got the new one to hand, which looks absolutely the same, so that's always encouraging. Just swapping over this plastic gubbins on the end, which is obviously allows water to be drawn off and contains the switch or the electrics. I'm not really sure what they're for. Maybe that's to detect when there's too much water, so a water sensor. Well, I had to stop filming because I was just getting oil and muck everywhere, but we got the new filter on. New filter has a drain on the bottom, so you can drain it before you remove it. That's a vast improvement. A very good idea, because it's a huge oil filter, so it's absolutely full. As you can see, there was the inevitable spillage. 7 litres of engine oil has gone in. It's 1540, which I think is a bit thick, but hopefully I'll get away with it over the summer. I haven't found any power steering fluid. I've topped up the screen wash, changed the fuel filter, changed the air filter, and better make sure she runs. I have primed the fuel filter. Slightly intriguing. I wonder why there's a fan running now. I wonder which fan it is. That certainly sounds happy enough. A bit smoother perhaps with a thicker oil. Yeah, good stuff. Now I need to see if I can get this wiper blade to fit. Bit of bonus content. You've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this. Shall we see if we can lift some boards? Oh. Oh wow. It does actually seem to be dry down there. Where's my phone? We need the torch mode. Oh, it smells disgusting. Oh wow. And looks disgusting. It smells very damp down there. Get a few more boards out. Wow. Someone had a bit of a tidy up, didn't they, by just hurling stuff into the pit. Nonetheless, I'm going to keep these. Haven't been used for a very long time. Oh, this one's notched, especially get around that girder. Maybe I should have swept up before doing this job. Right then, people. Let's see what we can find. Oh. Shandy, wow. Oh, it smells disgusting down here. I think this regularly fills up with water, but of course we've had a dry spell lately. Oh, look, there's a lamp down there. Haven't really got anywhere to plug it in. Oh, the wood is breaking up underfoot, which makes me reluctant to go walking along there. But yeah, again, too much sun coming in through the door. But ew, yes, I think, frankly, beating a hasty retreat may be the best course of action. Oh, we can have a look at Foxanne's exhaust over under there and her leaky diff. So she may not be leaking brake fluid, but she's leaking other things. Most of my cars leak. I need to do something about all of them. But there you go, little bonus in the cellar. Yeah. Right, post-service drive, but we do have better wipers going on now. I've replaced one blade because I could only get one at the garage this morning. They're last 26, and it's a nice pattern. We have not a triangle of doom so much on a clap hander, but there is a mild triangle, but it's hidden behind the mirror, so that's all good. The rear wiper sadly does not function. The motor works, the wiring is suspect. But I shall get you in the mount and we'll go for a drive and we can discuss whether the service has achieved anything at all. There we go, that's not bad. We shall get my seatbelt on and we should go. So pull it out of reverse, not reverse, park and into drive, and then on gravel, you see. There we go. And now we're uphill. And now we're downhill. I've got the overdrive turned off because we were doing some windy windy, but we're onto quicker roads now. That's 50 miles an hour. I don't think the service has changed much in the way it drives, to be honest, but it did highlight I've got issues with the brakes. I sadly didn't have time to do anything about that, but brakes are definitely something I'm going to have to look at. There's definitely some binding going on in places. Discs and pads certainly wouldn't go amiss, but nonetheless she's functioning well. I don't seem to have broken anything, so perhaps we consider that a win. Yeah, it's not an engine to rev. But you know, it's a wet day. The tyres seem to inspire confidence. The steering doesn't particularly. It will corner quickly. It just doesn't really inspire you. It's not really what it's about. People were asking about mileage. In a previous video, it has 182,000 on the clock, but I don't know what that's 182,000 of. It's had an electronic conversion, so the speedometer and manometer read in miles, and like I say, I have no idea when that happened. I have no idea of its Japanese life. It came to the UK in 2006. My friend Jasper bought it 3 years later. He's had some of the issues that are very common with these. I remember borrowing it to drive my friends up to North Wales, and I said, that's a very strange noise it's making. And it was a sort of a chuffing sound. That chuffing sound was the sound of the timing chain thrashing about and rubbing on the timing case. Eventually the chain snapped, and that helped us conclude that the noise was the timing chain. So that was quite bad news. Obviously pistons and head meet. It's also had an expansion bottle fail. That's something they do. expansion bottle just dies, and then you've got no coolant, and that also kills cylinder heads. Very often cracks them. So it's not an engine to overheat. You can really do with a low coolant light. I don't know why more cars don't have those. They're very useful. But yeah, generally you just steer and press the pedal that makes it accelerate or slow down. It's all good times. So with that, I'm going to carry on back to my abode and have a rest, get this video edited up, and yeah, there will be further adventures of a Delica. Oh, one thing I will say, these they're wind deflectors. They do obscure the view. I'm hoping to get some trim gel or something on them. You can make them slightly more see-through again. What a beautiful view. Anyway, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you go, and I look forward to seeing you in a future video. Farewell.